The man fell while working at the light rail extension site on State Route 520 and 148th Street. Workers for a contractor are placing girders there for the new line. King 5's Michael Crowe has been digging into this for us today. And Michael, this isn't the company's first fatal fall.
Yeah, exactly. Sound Transit contracted Kiewit Hoffman for this project, and they were fined by state regulators before, back in 2015, after a worker fell and died while working on the 520 floating bridge project. Now, investigators are working to figure out what happened here.
The man fell 30 to 40 feet during overnight work. Crews were placing girders for the light rail extension. He was taken to Harborview, where he was pronounced dead. His name has not been released, but Sound Transit says he was a longtime employee of Kiewit, a foreman, and well-liked. 5 investigators from the State Department of Labor and Industries arrived on scene this morning and are working to figure out what led to the fall. This is not Kiewit's first encounter with L&I. The company was fined $14,000 for a 2015 incident after a worker on the 520 bridge project fell 60 feet to the concrete and died. In a statement, a company spokesperson said they were saddened and that nothing is more important than the safety of our employees and the public near and around our project. According to state regulators, fall protection equipment would be required when working in this case, but it's not immediately clear what. This is the second fatality in the history of Sound Transit. The first was in 2007 during the construction of the Beacon Hill Tunnel. In a statement, the CEO said, "Today is the day we dread and constantly work to prevent."
And we should qualify, though, Kiewit is the common factor. These 2 deaths involve different partnering companies, and work today was halted while investigators got down to it. It's uncertain when they will resume. L&I says it could take up to 6 months to complete their probe. They were not able to discuss specifics today, including if that man had appropriate fall protection equipment. Guys.